it, and then I'll be back. That emergency siren is nerve wracking. I went to bed about 5 a.m. and that noise came on shortly after, and it was on for quite some time. This morning I woke up. It was this morning. It was before 12 noon. And then I was on my way outside, and I was at the elevator, and then I saw this man coming upstairs from the downstairs, soaking wet and everything. And he said, "The elevator's out." I said, "It is?" And he said, "Yeah, but I should have known something because I thought I didn't push the button. I was standing there for so long." Come to find out, a pipe burst, and a hole in the ceiling or whatever in the lobby, and the lobby was flooded, and the second floor was flooded. There I go, panicking because my freaking car is on the second floor in the garage. So I'm like, oh my goodness, and the part of the ceiling already fell down there before, was already flooded down there before, so I couldn't walk down 12 flights of stairs. I came in here, boys and girls, you'd think somebody cut off a piece of my finger. I was in here rolling. But then you know what I did? I went and sat down at the computer, and I realized something. It is what it is. You know, you really can't do much with what you can't control. Now here it is, about 6:30 at night. I barely got water. When I turned the faucet on, it like that. So I got a little drizzle where I was able to wash maybe one or two dishes. I can't really make dishes whatsoever. So the good thing is I recycle my cups, and I made a pot of beans that I opened up out the can, and some rice in my rice cooker. And on top of that, I had some coconut milk that I purchased from the store, and I don't even know where I bought the coconut milk, but I ended up using it to make my rice because I didn't have any water. With that, I'm going to start buying bottled water again. I stopped buying bottled water because I didn't need bottled water. My water from the faucet is quite tasty. I live in Westchester County, and our water was on the news as being very good water. But I am going to put in some bottled water that I'm just going to leave stacked up. In my cabinet, I should have some jars, some empty jars that I had filled up with some pipe water. I'm going to see if that water is still good enough for me to wash some dishes. I can't run my dishwasher, so I'm really and truly not trying to make any dishes. I have 2 cups here, one with coffee and one with my water. In states of emergency like this, it is time to be careful. I'm hoping nobody knocks on my door because I done seen some emergencies in movies. And matter of fact, I'm watching one right now. And people vandalize, they hurt people and, in need of looking for this, and this. And I don't understand how someone would hurt someone in the means of trying to feed themselves when everybody can work together and feed each other. But I also lived through quite a few hurricanes when I lived in Miami, and there were people that were not opening up their doors. They were, and matter of fact, nope, I'm not going to say it. That wouldn't have been nice. Anyway, there were people that wouldn't open up their doors. Everyone else's doors were open, and we all shared food and everything. Now, I'm not going to lie. My door was open, and I did share food, but I wasn't opening my refrigerator and my freezer. That I wasn't opening because I knew if the air stayed the same inside the freezer and the refrigerator, I was going to keep my food to the longevity. And that's exactly what I did. 7 days without heat. Without air conditioning, without electricity, my refrigerator was still cold. My ice was frozen when I got that electricity back on. So I'm sitting here now. I'm just so thankful, for one, that the flood didn't happen above me. Now, there's quite a few people's apartments flooded and everything, and they want us to get renters insurance. I can't afford renters insurance. My light bill went up $40. My electricity went up $25. No, light bill went up $40. My car insurance went up $25. My Wi-Fi went up $25, and something went up another money. So I don't have it, and I'm going bonkers because my car has liability on it. And if I'm not mistaken, 2 people told me that if anything happens to my car in that garage, even if the roof was to fall in, I would not be covered for that. And then today it all hit me, you know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting here trying my best. I did my book, I have my cards. I have another online store with clothing. but some of the prices, I have no control over the prices. So I'm sitting here like saying to myself, well, gosh, how much more am I supposed to try? I'm sitting here now making bracelets, and I'm loving the bracelets, boys and girls. But it is freezing in here, and you may not notice it, but my head is wet. I'm having a freaking hot flash, and it is freaking freezing in here. My shirt is getting a little moist. But it is time to prepare for what if. Because what if is freaking real, boys and girls. What if is real. I sat down here today, and I was thankful that my daughter is home, got an air conditioner on and everything. I heard the thunder and everything out there. It's going to be a blizzard, storm, whatever you call that, or thunderstorm. It's going to be a thunderstorm. And then I was thankful because I didn't know that there are peak hours for different locations. And then I ChatGPT'd it, and peak hours are up until midnight for where I live. So it's best to run your devices after midnight. So I'm so thankful because majority of the time I run my washing machine and my dishwasher is always after midnight. Because even though like it's 6:30 now, midnight is when I really begin my freaking day. You know what I'm saying? I grind mostly at night. So I'm sitting here because I've been reading online like people's light bills, like thousands of dollars and everything. I'm like, But me, I stopped sleeping in my bedroom a few days ago, so I no longer use that air conditioner. My craft room, I don't need the air conditioner unless I'm having a hot flash, because I have the fan right here on this floor, and then I have my air conditioner there, and I have a small fan by my head in the craft room. So I've noticed that this air conditioner, I turn it off when I'm actually really freezing, and then when I have a hot flash, I have to turn it back on. But I'm able to maintain a little bit better because I made a few moves and changes in here. So when I was picking one of my free samples, I chose a pull-out couch bed that turns into a full-size bed. Now, I'm not going to show you my bed because I just got out of it and the cover is unmade, but you know the girl's going to take a little lay down in there again, so I said I'm not going to spread it up. But anyway, my bed in there is spread. I'm so thankful that I even had the wherewithal to even think to make some of these changes. And I've said to myself, I'm not sitting in there, and I have a whole dining table in here that I'm definitely not doing anything with. So this is where I'm crafting my bracelets at. And then I get to come from out in there, and my TV was on this wall this way. My bed is right here. I'm sitting right here. My TV's right here. So I am like having the best time ever. Yesterday, I felt a little like under weather emotionally because I realized that a couple of days ago I couldn't feed myself. I couldn't get up. My feet hurt me so bad. And then when my friend brought me food, it ended up having something in it that caused the pain to get even worse. But I'm sitting here now saying to myself, I'm thankful. I'm thankful that I packed my damn pantry, boys and girls. When things get tough, that can opener work, my microwave work, and just say if the electricity went out and I was sitting here in the dark and I had nothing, you know what I'm saying? I have a can opener and I have some cans. During the daytime, I could just pull out what I'm going to eat, put it on the counter, sort it out so I know where this is and that is. I have battery, I have lights that run on battery. I have these solar lights that come on about 8 o'clock at night. I'm definitely going to get me some more solar lights. I'm going to get me some solar lights and put them inside on my windowsill so that they can come on at nighttime. I'm definitely going to do that. But I purchased some solar lights a few years ago. I purchased some for myself and I purchased some for someone else. And I would put mine on the window, and at nighttime it would turn on, and I was able to use it in a few of my rooms. And then turn around and started like going out where it wasn't working properly. But the person that I bought the lights for, the same ones I purchased myself, he puts his on his window, and would you believe his is still working? He said he barely have to turn his lights on in his house at night, and he said that he leaves the light on all night, and then it just regenerates because he has it taped on his window. Now, how dare I in kindness buy somebody else something at work. And then in kindness, mine doesn't work. I was like, wow, that is it. But I caught I sent it back while I still had warranty on it. So I sent it back. But I'm going to get me some more solar lights. Yes, I am. Because I don't like candles. I don't like candles. I don't. It might have sounded like I said I don't Like candles. I like candles. I don't light candles. I'm afraid of fire. Yeah, I am. I'm not lighting a candle. It just take one little, uh, uh, forgetfulness or whatever the case may be, and something happened. God forbid if I had a cat in here, and knock the candle over. But I don't play with fire. And I'm sitting here a few minutes ago. I was on a computer and I felt so bad because a few weeks ago, me and my daughter was talking about going to Jamaica. And I said to my daughter, I'm not really going to rush to jump up and go nowhere because I'm so excited to go to the pool, go to the beaches and stuff like that. But I told my daughter, I said, you know what? Water is a silent killer. And you don't understand how serious it is for water. And then what do we hear on the news about the person who just recently went to, and I feel horrible. When you get in the pool and you ingest water, it is a horrible feeling. But just imagine ingesting water to the point where you have nobody to save you. That is torture. That is torture. So I'm sitting here hoping this alarm doesn't come on, but my phone is going to ring in a few minutes because someone asked me to go see if the elevator was working. I knew the elevator wasn't working because we just got notice and slipped under the door, stating that the elevator will be out because both of them are wet and it's not working. So guess what? I had an order to send back to a location. I couldn't get to the post office, so I messaged them and I said I need an extension on my return because my elevator's out. We had a flood, and I said if you don't believe me, you can contact the postal service because I know freaking well nobody's getting packages in here. If they think they're leaving people's packages downstairs in that lobby, knowing that elevator's not working, somebody's gonna be in trouble. So, I hope that thing is on by the time my little craft supplies get here. Because I don't want to have to. I'm not going downstairs for it. I'm just gonna get my refund and be done with it. Boys and girls, if you live somewhere, you have all type of whatever could possibly happen, make sure your pantry is stocked. Make sure you have some goods in your pantry. My deep freezer is full, but it's mainly beef in my freezer. I got a lot of chopped meat in there, so I'm making sure I don't open up my freezer. None of that stuff, unless of course I'm taking something out. I already took out my ground beef that I was supposed to fix for tonight. I was gonna make me a nice ground beef with the peppers and everything, but I'm not doing any of that because I'm not gonna make dishes that I can barely wash. Now I do have a bowl on this counter. The little dripping in the sink, I'm gonna be able to wash that bowl, but a pot and all the other stuff, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. But when that alarm came on, you heard it at the beginning of the video. Just imagine being sleeping and that comes on and you so tired that you still can't get up. Well, honey, I got up. I ran to my kitchen to see if my kitchen was on fire, even though I was laying right here in the living room. I jumped right out that, and I was all in there looking around. But this pipe situation, they're gonna have to figure that out because there's gonna be a whole lot of mad people in this building here. But the lady apartment next to me, right here, hers flooded out from the 13th floor when something had piped. The 5th and I think the 6th floor, I went down to the 11th floor one day. The 11th floor was flooded, and the water was getting so high, but it didn't go in my neighbor's apartment. Whenever the door seam or something like that, it kept the water from going in. But in the hallway, the whole hallway was flooded, going down the stairs and stuff. So I don't know. I know one thing. My daughter called me and she said, "Mommy, you better not go outside." What? I didn't lose nothing out there. I'm not going nowhere. So I'm just hoping and praying because I wasn't able to check my vehicle. I just hope and pray that everything's okay on that second floor because the last time it flooded on the second floor, people lost their car. People lost their car. The engine was no good and there's no warranty. You don't get no coverage or nothing in the And the thing, I did look for an apartment today, but there's no apartment that has parking where I need it, and I need a certain zip code. There's only one thing I can go get when I leave from here. I need a certain zip code to lower my car insurance. That's it. If I'm gonna move somewhere that's gonna still give me the same car insurance I'm living now, it doesn't make any sense to move because that means I'm still in the same freaking area. So I'm not leaving here unless I can get a certain zip code. If I can't, there's no reason for me to move because that's my hustle and grind right there to lower my car insurance, which will help me with other things I have to lower down. Boys and girls, if you have an over-the-counter card, be grateful. I don't know what's going to happen, whatever the case may be, but what I can tell you is I got 2 stocks, and I didn't mean to check them, but I just happened to go onto a site where the stock is that I kind of forget that it's there. And then I saw that it went up. Both of them went up, so I got a few more pennies, boys and girls. But I'm saying to myself, just what happens if I wake up one morning and find myself with all kinds of money? I said, but see, money won't change me. I'm by myself now, and I will damn sure be by myself if I got that kind of money. Money won't change me. I will still be frugal the same way I am because it is exactly who I am. And I do not believe that I would be putting all these certain things on social media. No, I wouldn't do that. I would if the powers were be that I had enough to live on where I didn't have to threaten, my security wasn't threatened. My online friends that really grind for me, especially YouTube, I would be sending them some checks in the mail, and they would never know it came from me. Matter of fact, it wouldn't even be a check. It would probably be something that they had no trace to know it came from me. And just imagine somebody sending you something, you'd be like, "Who is this?" And I'm not gonna. You're gonna cash it because it's gonna have your name on it. And the only way I would feel good doing that is if I knew that I had no traces. No one could trace it back to me. Because I wouldn't want to extend kindness to someone and then they come back and ask me for something that is not warranted for them to ask me because they blew it. I've seen enough of those shows, Where Are They Now? And then most of them were broke, and people that they gave money to still had money left over. So if something happened with me, unless I actually hit the news, I won't publicly make it. I wouldn't do that. But I'm sitting here, I just made some bracelets and I'm going to make some more, and then I will be doing another video later on. I basically wanted y'all to hear that little siren and hear what I go through in here, so when I'm saying it on Facebook, you can actually understand what the blows and something going through up in here.